everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you from a chilly skyline field in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you some live high school girls soccer action between the hosting Brookline High Warriors and the visiting Newton North Tigers. These two teams faced off earlier this week in a night game in Newton that ended in a 1-1 tie. Newton got their goal courtesy of Kayla Boggs, while Brookline's score came from Alex Levy off an assist from Samantha Friedman. They're getting ready to get the game underway. Brookline won the toss and decided to play from my right, while Newton North comes from my left, and they will start with the ball. For Newton North, number 12, Claire Rayner at the center, getting ready to kick this ball back and get things underway.
Number 1 is playing goalie. Keep an eye on it.
And we're getting this underway. It is kicked back and booted into the air towards midfield. It is batted down by Brookline's Hope Leshley and deflected over to Melanie Chernin. Chernin dribbling over to the right side, trying to pass it ahead now. Deflected and taken away by Newton North. They now pass it along the far side. Trying to get out of the scrum. They send a centering pass. And now they're taking it with speed. That was number 10, Lily Ranelli, who lost the ball. And it got taken away by Brookline. Passed over to Zoe Fagnan along the near side. She dribbles, passes to Melanie Chernin, who battles through traffic. Passes it back to Hope Leshley, who loses control of it, and it's taken away by Ranelli. And Leshley, in close defense, it is forced out of bounds by Hope Leshley, and now it'll be an inbounds kick for Newton North. This is Kira Doherty going for the inbounds kick, looking for her opening. Tries to send one in, immediately intercepted by Brookline's Sari Frankel. She dribbles in retreat, passes back to Hope Leshley. Leshley now kicks it back to defender Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney kicks it across over to Caroline Wolf. Wolf now dribbling, passes it along the far side over to Samantha Friedman. Friedman now kicks it ahead, goes all the way down to the Newton North goalie, Josie Glass, who boots it towards midfield, and it deflects off of Brookline and out of bounds. Another inbounds kick for Newton North along the far side. It's kicked in and controlled by number 11, Catalina Powderly. Tries to pass it ahead along the far side, and it gets taken away by Brookline. And we've got a whistle. I think it might have been a foul. Newton North player is getting a little too physical against Daniela Levy. So now it'll be a free kick for Brookline. Kicked from Carolina Wolf over to Melanie Chernin. Chernin now dribbling with some space. Keeps going, still going. And now a pass over to the near side. Connects with her teammate. Now dribbling. This is Zoe Fagnan, who sends it towards the center looking for Levy, but it goes just over her head. Taken away by Newton North, and now they work on the clearing attempt. But the ball gets kicked to Mila Seifert, and she dribbles through one player, dribbles through another, passes ahead looking for Frankel, but it goes wide and is kicked away by Tali Membrino. Now being passed ahead, being passed along. This is Helen Ria Booney, who's dribbling with it now along the far side and has it taken away. That is Hope Leshley who took it away. Trying to fight through, and they're going to call a foul on Newton North. So Brookline will get the free kick in their own end. Caroline Wolf kicks it over to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney kicks it along the near side for Mila Seifert. Seifert passes it to Sari Frankel. Frankel then passes to Hope Leshley. Leshley passes it back to Seifert. Seifert passes back to Mahoney. Mahoney passes it along to Wolf as Brookline looking for a good opening. Wolf passes it back to Mahoney. Mahoney dribbling with it, passes it to Sari Frankel. Defense closing, but she turns around and boots it into the air. Gets it all the way over to Samantha Friedman along the far side, who then passes it to Melanie Chernin. Chernin tries to send a through pass and connects with her teammate. And then another pass over to Daniela Levy. Levy trying to pass along the far side, looking for Samantha Friedman. Friedman's got it. Friedman fakes out a defender. Kick towards the box, and it skips away from everybody. Recovered by Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan passes it back out to Hope Leshley. Leshley with a long kick, but it rolls into the arms of Josie Glass. glass. Now boots it towards midfield. Bounces, kicked into the air by Hope Leshley. Melanie Chernin trying to track it down, as is Newton North's Emma Plainett. And we've got another foul call. I think this one might have gone against Chernin, as now we've got a free kick for Newton North. This is Tolly Membrino, who boots it back to Anna Engel, who then boots it across midfield. And Lindsay Mahoney taps it ahead, but it's taken away by Lily Ranelli. Passes it over to Rhea Booney. Rhea Booney takes the shot, and it rolls well wide of the net and is scooped up easily by Brookline goalkeeper Talia Thompson. Thompson rolls it over to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney passes it over to Caroline Wolf. Wolf dribbles with it, passes it ahead along the far side, looking for Mia Pujols-Braceno, who then passes it back to Wolf. Wolf chases it down, kicks it over to Mahoney. Mahoney has to rush it and kick it up to Hope Leshley, who then sends a retreating pass back to Seifert. Seifert now dribbling with it, almost has it taken away, but manages to get it back to Mahoney. Mahoney now kicks it through space, looking for Levy, but it gets taken away by Plainett and kicked ahead to Rhea Booney. Rhea Booney now fires a shot, and it rolls harmlessly into the arms of Thompson. Thompson rolls it over to Mahoney. Mahoney passes it over to Wolf. Wolf passes ahead to Pujols-Braceno. Pujols-Braceno runs into traffic but dribbles around. Pass ahead looking for Levy. It deflects off a couple of feet, and they're going to say it went off of Brookline last. So Newton North gets the inbound pass once again. Now an inbounds kick from Newton North, deflected off a couple players, and it goes back to Rhea Booney, but then she loses track of it. It's kicked away by Mahoney, but then intercepted by Newton North, passed back to Rhea Booney, dribbles through traffic, passes back, kicked back in by Anna Engel, but it's taken by Brookline. Another attempted kick for midfield, but taken by Engel once again. Kicked back in, and now Newton North passing it around. The ball goes to Emma Plainett. Plainett passes it. It deflects off the foot of number 8. Lily Ranelli now chasing after it. That was a deflection from Kayla Boggs. And now Lily Ranelli has chased it down into the corner, the near corner, and they lose track of it out of bounds, and that'll be a goal kick for Brookline. Talia Thompson lines up for the goal kick. She passes it over to Mahoney on her left. Mahoney passes it ahead looking for Zoe Fagnan, who then passes it along the near sideline to Seifert, who then centers it towards Frankel. Frankel now dribbling, passes it back to Seifert. Seifert sends it back to Mahoney. Mahoney sends it over to Wolf. Wolf kicks it ahead, looking for Samantha Friedman. Friedman now dribbling with it, and boots it, and it's deflected by Kira Doherty, being chased down by a couple players. It's a battle between Caleb Boggs and Mila Seifert, and Seifert wins it and deflects it to Hope Leshley. Leshley now dribbling with it, tries to kick, it's deflected off Doherty, but goes right to Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan dribbles, kicks towards the center, but it's taken by Anna Engel. She boots it across midfield. It's collected by Seifert. Seifert passes it back to Mahoney. Mahoney passes it over to Wolf. Wolf dribbles along, passes it towards Melanie Chernin. Chernin now dribbling through the center, gets across midfield, sends a pass down the far side. It's collected, being dribbled, gaining the edge. Passes it back to Samantha Friedman, but lost control of it. It's taken away by Newton North. They kick it towards midfield. That goes to Helen Rhea Booney once again. She dribbles near midfield, tries to send a kick across, but then it's taken away by Seifert. Seifert being chased by Ranelli, but she gains control of it, passes it back safely to Caroline Wolf, who then passes it across to Mahoney. Mahoney passes it over to Seifert. Seifert passes ahead to Fagnan. Fagnan dribbles around Doherty, nice move. Kicks it across midfield, but deflected by Emma Plainett. Almost collected by Tolly Membrino, but now Frankel takes it away. Passes it back to midfield to Hope Leshley. Now Hope Leshley kicks it, looking for Friedman, who then deflects it down the far side to Mia Pujols-Braceno, who boots it, but it gets deflected out of bounds. So it'll be Brookline ball after the defensive deflection. Inbounds kick goes to Friedman. Friedman dribbling along the far side, gets through a few defenders and she's got some space. Fakes out another one, dribbles towards the center. Now a boot towards the box, skips away from Levy and is booted out by the Newton North defense. Rhea Booney gets it, passes it to her right, but then they lose track of it and it's taken away by Chernin and kicked back to Wolf. Wolf now dribbling with it, passes it out to Pujols Braceno along the far side, and I think we've got a foul call. Caroline Wolf with the inbounds kick. And I think they're going to say they did the inbounds kick wrong or something. Yes, they're going to say that it was kicked too high in the air, and instead Newton North is going to take over. Of course, all the new rule changes in this weird year have caused all kinds of hiccups for plenty of teams, particularly on these inbounds kicks. So now Newton North gets it, they kick it back, kick it towards the box. It's kicked out by Lindsay Mahoney to Samantha Friedman, who then sends a centering pass over to Melanie Chernin. Chernin now dribbling. She's got some space to work, directing traffic. Passes ahead to Frankel. Frankel's got it near midfield. She turns around, boots it along the far side, looking for Friedman. Friedman now sends a pass ahead for Pujols Braceno. Pujols Braceno dribbling with it, trying to gain the edge. Can't gain the edge. Tries to kick it in, but it's deflected out of bounds by a Newton North defender. This will be a corner kick for Brookline. Brookline lining up for the corner kick. We've got Mia Pujols Braceno alongside one other player. They're on the far corner, getting ready for it. It's kicked, stopped, and go. That's Frankel with the ball. That's around a defender. Dribbles in retreat now, being chased by multiple defenders. Passes to Hope Leslie. Leslie boots it into the air and well wide of the net. So that'll be a goal kick for Josie Glass. Glass kicks it. It's kicked along the far side by Newton North. Goes towards midfield and towards Rhea Booney once again. Rhea Booney turns around, almost has it taken away, but instead it gets passed back to Catalina Powderly. And I think they had a foul call there against Brookline. So the free kick for Newton North. They pass around, try and kick it towards midfield. Taken away by Melanie Chernin. Chernin dribbling with it, tries to send a pass down the far side, deflected, but it goes to, Frankel. Frankel tries to fight through multiple defenders, and she drew a foul call. So Brookline will get another free kick over in the Newton North end. And coach is relating to his players they need 2 people on it as it's an indirect kick. So we've got Mia Pujols Braceno and Samantha Friedman. Pujols Braceno taps it. Friedman kicks it towards the box, just outside of it. After a couple deflections, winds up at the foot of Frankel. She dribbles to her right, turns around, boots it, and it skips into the hands of Josie Glass. She bobbled it for a second, but collected it before anyone could threaten. Glass boots it towards midfield, skips away from one player, and eventually kicked by Caroline Wolf back across midfield to Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan controls it, dribbles in retreat, turns around, sends a kick down the far side. I believe she's looking for Friedman. Friedman's chasing it. Friedman's got it. Friedman, just lost control of it. Got a little too fancy, and it was scooped away from her by Josie Glass. Glass sends it back in, and a fight along the far sideline. Knocks the ball out of bounds, and I'm going to say it last went off Newton North. So Brookline with a couple of good chances early in this one. As now they get ready for the inbounds kick. They kick it to Friedman. Friedman kicks it towards the center. Looking for Daniela Levy. Now Levy dribbles and passes over to Melanie Chernin. Chernin kicks it to the near side looking for Fagnan. It's deflected away but collected by Mila Seifert. Seifert now passes. It gets away from Fagnan just wide and is now being chased down by Kira Doherty. Doherty decides to kick it out of bounds, and Brookline will maintain possession deep in the Newton North end. Seifert taps it to Fagnan. Fagnan dribbles with it. Sends a kick, and it's deflected out of bounds by a Newton North defender. This will be a corner kick now for Brookline, their second corner kick now of the first quarter. Brookline once again sends two players to the corner. This is Mila Seifert and Frankel as they get ready for the signal. Seifert taps it to Frankel. Frankel trying to dribble against a defender, trying to get around. She almost manages to get around, sends a kick towards the box, deflected by a defender, well played, and booted away by Newton North. A nice clear, and it goes right to Helen Ria Booney. She tries to dribble through a couple defenders, but has it taken away by Mila Seifert, who then passes it across to Pujols Braceno. Centering pass to Hope Leshley. Leshley couldn't maintain control and has it taken away by a couple defenders, but it rolls right to Daniela Levy, who then passes it back to Pujols Braceno, who kicks it across midfield for Friedman. Samantha Friedman dribbles in retreat, sends a centering pass near midfield over to Hope Leshley. Leshley sends a pass to the near side to Seifert. Seifert, centering pass, looking for Chernin. It goes wide and is taken away by Newton North. Kicked across midfield and goes to Helen Ria Booney. Ria Booney sends a kick down the near side, and it's scooped up by Talia Thompson. Thompson rolls it for Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney now dribbling with it. Sends a kick ahead to Friedman, who taps it into the air for Chernin. Chernin manages to bat it down. Dribble around and then passes over to Leshley. Leshley has to retreat as she was getting double teamed, but maintains control. Now passes out to the near side to Seifert. Seifert sends a retreating pass back to Mahoney. Mahoney being chased. She turns around, gets some space, kicks it towards the center for Frankel. Frankel now dribbling away from a defender. She turns around and kicks it down the far side. It goes to Pujols Braceno. Pujols Braceno, centering pass for Chernin. Chernin passes it towards Frankel, but it's taken away by Newton North. I believe that was Lily Ranelli who took it away. So Newton North will now get a free kick. Talia Membrino taps it back to Anna Engel, who boots it into the air. High, bounces. Seifert tried to down it, but it's kicked into the air by Kayla Boggs, and Boggs tried to save it from going out of bounds. Couldn't do it, so it'll be Brookline ball. Seifert taps it over to Fagnan. Fagnan tried to dribble, but lost control of it, and it goes out of bounds. So now Newton North takes over. Kira Doherty with the inbounds kick. Sends a retreating pass back to Membrino, who boots it into the air and out of bounds. So both teams struggling to put a sequence together here. As we head towards the closing minutes of the first quarter, still scoreless, Brookline 0, Newton North 0. Seifert taps it to Fagnan once again on the inbound. Fagnan dribbles with it, sends a pass wide of Melanie Chernin, but tapped by Daniela Levy and then taken away by Newton North. Pass back to Kira Doherty, who then passes it back to Membrino. Membrino kicks it across midfield, looking for Ranelli, but it's taken away by Hope Leshley. Leshley dribbles through, passes to Chernin. Chernin passes it back to Leshley, who then passes it back to Chernin. They're working it back and forth pretty well to get downfield. Chernin sends a pass over to the near side to Fagnan. Fagnan tries to kick it, but it's deflected out of bounds by Kira Doherty. Brookline trying to get things going late in the first period. It's tapped into Fagnan. Fagnan winds up and kicks, and it's deflected. Bouncing, and it's being tracked down by Hope Leshley. Leshley sends a pass back out to Seifert. Seifert sends it back to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney sends it across over to Wolf. Wolf sends a through pass looking for Levy. It's deflected away by Newton North and chased down by Helen Riab-Booney. Riab-Booney dribbling along the far side, sends a pass over to Powderly. Powderly tries to send a pass looking for Riab-Booney, and we've got a whistle. I think they might have called offsides. Newton North was putting a nice string of passes together deep in the Brookline end, but they couldn't make things happen that time. And so it'll be a goal kick for Brookline. Thompson passes it to her left to Mahoney. Mahoney dribbling with it, sends a pass along the near side rather, for Seifert. Mila Seifert passes it to Frankel. Frankel dribbling with it, passes it to Hope Leshley. Leshley retreats, passes it back to Mahoney. Brookline taking their time. It's passed across to Caroline Wolf. Pass ahead looking for Chernin, goes wide and taken by Lily Ranelli. Ranelli now dribbling with it. Turns and dribbles to her left, chased by Chernin. She passes it down to the far side. It's booted into the air. Lines up at the foot of Riab-Booney, but then skips away from her and is kicked out by Lindsay Mahoney. Another couple kicks, and it winds up at the foot of Frankel, who's now dribbling with it towards the far side. She passes it, and we've got the whistle for the quarter. And indeed, that'll be the whistle at the end of the first quarter. The score, the visiting Newton North Tigers 0, the hosting Brookline Warriors 0. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, live at Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts, and I'll be back after a quick mute break. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and I am bringing you live coverage of this high school girls soccer matchup between the hosting Brookline Warriors and the visiting Newton North Tigers. We are currently scoreless through one quarter as we get started on the second quarter of play. Brookline will now be playing from my left, Newton North from my right as they switch sides, and Brookline will be starting with the ball this time. Brookline's Daniela Levy and Frankel standing at the center with Samantha Friedman along the near side as we get ready to get this second quarter underway. Levy taps it over to Frankel, and we're underway. Frankel sends a pass looking for Friedman, but it goes wide and is deflected away by Newton North. It goes to Mia Pujols-Perseno, who then kicks it back to Friedman. Friedman dribbling with it, passes it over to Hope Leshley. Leshley passes it along the far side. It's kicked in and collected by Frankel, passed back out, and then the attempted pass back in goes out of bounds. So Newton North will take over. Newton North looking for the inbounds along the far side. It's kicked along the far side and a battle for the ball, and it gets deflected out of bounds. They're going to say it went off Brookline once again. North with the ball along the far side. It's tapped back, booted towards the box, but taken by Melanie Chernin. Chernin now dribbling with speed. Fakes, goes to her left, passes it along the far side, misses her target. It's kicked away by Kira Doherty. Kicked along the far side. Newton North tries to get something going, but then it's taken away by Hope Leshley. Passes back to Chernin. Chernin being rather physically defended by, I believe that's Catalina Powderly, and they call the foul. So it'll be a free kick for Brookline. It's being taken by Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney kicks it across midfield, looking for Maddie Moore. It skips away from her. Oh no, that was Zoe Fagnan, and it gets taken by Catalina Powderly. Powderly tries to send a pass ahead, but it's taken away. Now Brookline passing it along the far side once again. They send a pass looking for Frankel, and it gets knocked out of bounds by a Newton North defender. I believe that was Tolly Membrino on the defense there. Brookline taps it in to Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan dribbles around, sends a pass to Chernin, who deflects it back, looking for Leshley, who gets chased by the defense, pops it into the air for Daniela Levy. Levy tries to dribble around her defender, but it's taken away and booted well across midfield. Now being chased after by Mia Pujols-Braceno and Helen Riabuni. It's won by Pujols-Braceno. She turns around, passes it ahead to Friedman. Friedman passes it to Chernin across midfield. Chernin dribbling with a couple defenders in pursuit. The ball rolls to Frankel. Frankel now with it. Fakes out one defender, dribbles towards the center, passes it to Hope Leshley. Leshley now dribbling with it. Goes down the near sideline looking for the edge. And the ball goes out of bounds, and they're going to say that's a goal kick. She was being pursued by Anna Engel on the defense. Now Josie Glass will have a goal kick. Taps it to her left. It's passed ahead to Riabuni. And Riabuni now dribbling with it along the near side, being chased by Pujols-Braceno, but Riabuni's got the speed and she's got the edge. Centering kick, deflects off of the body of one, and now a battle for it in the box. And they call a handball on Newton North.
Gotta press that harder.
Tough way for that push to end. They had something good going there. And now instead a free kick for Talia Thompson as she sends it towards midfield. And it is taken by Anna Engel. Passed ahead to Powderly. Powderly now taking it. An attempted pass. Deflects off of one player and is taken by Mahoney. Tapped back to Thompson, who boots it into the air. Bounces high in the air. A bit of a physical battle for the ball. And it's won by Levy. Levy boots it ahead looking for Samantha Friedman. Friedman's chasing it down. She's got speed. Takes it along the far side. Centering kick. Looking for Levy. It's deflected off the defender and kicked over the crossbar by Melanie Chernin. So close, that one. Great chance there off the centering kick by Samantha Friedman. But instead it'll be a goal kick for Josie Glass. She sends it down the far side. But it's taken away by Brookline. An attempted kick in is deflected. Retaken by Brookline. A couple deflections, and now Newton North is kicking it out. It's taken away by Brookline once again. Passed. Hope Leshley boots it. And may have booted it a little too far. Samantha Friedman trying to chase it down and keep it in bounds. She manages to save it, but kicks it out of bounds along the back end. It'll be a goal kick. We've got a pair of substitutions for Newton North. Number 14, Josie Tucker, and number 7, Malia Sung, coming in, replacing Catalina Powderly and Lily Ranelli. So the goal kick for Glass. She kicks it to her right to Kira Doherty. Doherty trying to get through one defender, and they call a foul on Brookline, so that'll be a free kick for Newton North. Newton North lining up for the free kick. This is Anna Engel lining up for it. Engel kicks it ahead. Bit of a scrum for the ball. It rolls all the way back to Engel, actually, and she boots it into the air this time. Sends it towards midfield, but it's taken by Caroline Wolf. Kicked into the air down the near side. Deflected by Fiona Flint. Over to Tucker. Josie Tucker deflects it, and now a battle for the ball between Samantha Friedman and Helen Riabuni, won by Friedman. Passed over to Frankel. Frankel now dribbling around with it. Passes it over to the far end, looking for Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan collects it. Taps it along. And then it's tapped back to Fagnan. Fagnan now dribbling with it. She's got some space to work. Sends a pass looking for Pujols-Braceno. She collects it. Pujols-Braceno tries an inserting pass. It's deflected by the defense. Now scrum for the ball. They're fighting for it. Newton North gets it out for a second. Hope Leshley boots it back towards the box, but well wide of the net and out of bounds. We are scoreless here in the second quarter at Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. The hosting Brookline High Warriors 0, the visiting Newton North Tigers 0. Josie Glass with the goal kick. She sends it over to Kira Doherty on her right. Doherty fights through one defender, trying to get the edge on another. She kicks it ahead, and it's deflected out of bounds. I believe she was looking for number 22, Sydney Boucher, on that pass. But it was deflected out of bounds. They're going to say it went off of Brookline. Newton North with the inbounds kick along the far side. Booted into the air. And we got a foul call on Brookline. They were getting a little too physical, waiting for the ball to get down. So it'll be Tolly Membrino with the free kick for Newton North. As it's tapped back from Doherty to Membrino, and she kicks it across midfield. Deflected, and it gets away from Newton North. It's collected by Melanie Chernin, passed over to Samantha Friedman. Friedman sends a through pass over to Chernin. Chernin sends a pass, looking for either Daniela Levy or, Frankel Levy trying to chase it down, but it's kicked away by Anna Engel. Recovered by Zoe Fagnan along the far side. Fagnan trying to gain the edge. She's got the edge. Still trying to penetrate, but runs into traffic, and the ball is taken away, kicked out. Hope Leshley tries to kick it back in, but Anna Engel kicks it back out. It bounces and is collected for a second by Ali Contaridis, but then she loses it, and it's taken away by Hope Leshley. Passed over to the far side to Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan with a boot, and it's collected by Josie Glass.
Almost down, Josie! Here we go, ladies, get up!
Glass boots it, skips away from a couple players, and then Mia Pujols-Braceno taps it to Friedman, who tries a centering pass, loses it for a second, but then Melanie Chernin takes it back. She turns around, tries to dribble, but it's kicked away by Josie Tucker. And after it was cleared by Newton North, Ali Contaridis had a chance for a second there, but it was taken away by the Brookline defense and booted into the air. Hope Leshley had it, but then gets stolen from behind by Sydney Boucher. Boucher dribbling with it. Leshley deflected it, but they called a foul on Leshley, and so Newton North will get the free kick near midfield. Kira Doherty taps it back to Tolly Membrino, who boots it into the air towards the Brookline end. It's collected by Sydney Boucher for a second, but then she's double-teamed, and it's taken away by Mila Seifert, who draws the foul. Now Brookline will have the free kick. It'll be taken by Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney passes it over to Caroline Wolf, who taps it back to Talia Thompson. Thompson passes it over to Mahoney. Mahoney sends it to the far end, looking for Mila Seifert. Seifert passes it along. Brookline still with it. A kick across midfield. Stolen away by Newton North, and now kicked. A nice pass. That's looking for Helen Rhea Booney, who collects it along the near side. Dribbles towards the center. Runs into some traffic, but fakes out Caroline Wolf, but chased down and taken away by Hope Leshley. Leshley manages to send a clearing kick. It skips off the foot of Chernin, but then is collected by Samantha Friedman. Friedman dribbling along the near side. She's across midfield. Friedman sends a pass. Looking for Frankel. Frankel collects it, dribbles. A centering kick looking for Levy. Daniela Levy kicks it out to Frankel once again. Frankel along the near end of the box. Dribbles around. Centering kick is kicked into the air by Newton North, and we've got a whistle. I believe they called the foul on Brookline there. And so Newton North will get the free kick just inside the penalty box. It's booted into the air by Newton North. Tracked down by Melanie Chernin. Chernin almost lost it, and Brookline does lose it. It's taken away by Helen Rhea Booney. She's got speed down the near sideline. She's got the edge. She's got space to work with. Centering kick. Bounces away from everybody and is scooped up by Talia Thompson. Rhea Booney's got some great speed, but her teammates just don't seem to be there for her centering kicks. As Thompson boots it in for Fagnan. Fagnan passes it over to Seifert. Seifert dribbles with it, passes it to Daniela Levy. Levy sends it back to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney sends it back to Fagnan. Fagnan passes it to Seifert. Seifert tries to get it towards midfield. Another battle for the ball, and we've got another whistle. They're going to call the foul against Zoe Fagnan. So Newton North with the free kick around midfield. Tapped from Doherty to Membrino. Membrino boots it into the air, deep in the Brookline end. He's got a scrum for the ball and a quick whistle. And they call the foul. And they call the foul on Newton North. And so Brookline will have the free kick deep in their own end. Lindsay Mahoney will be taking this. No, I think they're saying Talia Thompson will be taking this. As Thompson winds up and boots it high into the air across midfield. It's collected by Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan now boots it into the air. Deflects off the foot of Friedman, being chased down. This is Frankel. Frankel turns around, fires a shot, and it goes well over the crossbar. So it'll be a goal kick, and we've got a massive substitutions. For Brookline, number 12, Maddie Moore, number 28, Alex Levy, and number 3 is Sarah Gonzalez coming into the game. While for Newton North, we've got number 8, Kayla Boggs, number 16, Morgan Gallivan, and number 19, Katie Rayner, all coming into the game. So it'll be a goal kick for Josie Glass. Boots it into the air. Goes right to the foot of Samantha Friedman, though. Friedman pops it into the air and off the side of her foot, and that goes out of bounds. That'll be another goal kick. So Glass gets ready for her second goal kick in about 5 seconds. And she boots it into the air again. This time it bounces towards Fiona Flint, but it gets deflected away. Almost taken away by Brookline, but I think we've either gotten out of bounds or a foul call. Looks like it's going to be a foul call against Samantha Friedman. Too aggressive in her pursuit of the ball that time. So the free kick for Newton North, and I'm not sure quite what happened there, but almost taken away by Brookline. Instead passed ahead to Malia Sung. Sung sends a through pass towards the mid for Clara Rayner. Rayner sends it along the far side for Gallivan. Gallivan passes it ahead. I believe that's Sydney Boucher, who is being defended by Sarah Gonzalez, and it gets deflected out of bounds off of Brookline. Newton North getting ready for the inbounds kick. They kick it back to Membrino. Membrino boots it towards the box, deflected out by Mahoney, deflected back in and then back out. Scrum for the ball as it ultimately winds up at the feet of Sarah Gonzalez, who dribbles along the near side, passes ahead, finds Daniela Levy. Levy passes back looking for Leshley, but it gets taken away. It gets taken away by Josie Tucker. Tucker's dribbling in space. She sends a centering pass, but it's tapped back out. Tapped down the near side. And an attempted kick into the center is ultimately booted out by Lindsay Mahoney. Collected by Fiona Flint. Flint tries to pass ahead, but deflected into the air by Pujols Braceno, but then taken away again by Kayla Boggs. Boggs dribbling along the near side, trying to find an opening, sends a centering pass, but booted away immediately by Caroline Wolf. Winds up at the foot of Malia Sung, but gets away from her to Melanie Chernin. Chernin passes ahead to Alex Levy. Levy dribbles across midfield, tries to send a pass, but deflected away by Tully Membrino, and then kicked further away, but collected by Samantha Friedman. Friedman now dribbling towards the center, tries to send a pass, but it's deflected away, and winds up at the foot of Alex Levy, who sends a retreating pass to Pujols Braceno, who then sends it in to Chernin, but it bounces a little too far away from her foot. Taken for a second by Kayla Boggs, but she lost track of it, and it was taken by Pujols Braceno, passed back to Chernin. Chernin passes towards the center for Daniela Levy, who tries to turn around and kick, but it's deflected down by Malia Sung. Booted out by Newton North, collected by Pujols Braceno, passed to Chernin, then back to Wolf. Caroline Wolf passes over to Lindsay Mahoney, then back to Wolf. Wolf boots it into the air towards midfield. It's collected by Maddie Moore, who turns around and boots it, looking for Sarah Gonzalez. Gonzalez collects it, passes it along the far side to Moore. Maddie Moore tried to get around a defender, couldn't do it, and it goes out of bounds. So this will be an inbounds kick for Brookline. Tapped from Moore to Gonzalez. Gonzalez sends a kick towards Daniela Levy. Levy trying to collect it. She's got a couple defenders. Passes back out to Moore. Moore tries to kick, and it gets deflected and goes out of bounds. I think this will set up a corner kick for Brookline. Still scoreless thus far here in the second quarter at Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. The hosting Brookline High Warriors, 0. The visiting Newton North Tigers, 0. Brookline now getting ready for a corner kick at the far corner on their end. It's tapped. Now dribbling in. A centering pass is deflected out by Newton North. Chased down by Sarah Gonzalez. Pass looking for Hope Leshley gets taken away by Newton North. Then they lost control of it, and Gonzalez took it back, kicked it back to Lindsay Mahoney. Passed along to Caroline Wolf. Wolf dribbling with it. Sends a pass through to Samantha Friedman, but it gets taken away. And now Newton North has got it, but then they lost track of it. Kayla Boggs couldn't keep control of it, and it's taken away by Friedman. Passed over to Hope Leshley. Leshley now dribbling in space. Passes it along the near side to Alex Levy. Levy chasing after it. Levy's got it, dribbling against her defender. Tries to get through. And they're going to call a foul on Levy, who got a little too physical trying to get around defender Fiona Flint. So it'll be a free kick for Newton North. As it's booted away by Anna Engel. Skips away from Kayla Boggs, and the ball is taken away by Pujols Braceno. Passed ahead to Friedman, who passes ahead looking for Alex Levy. It goes through her legs and rolls out of bounds. This will be a goal kick. We've got another couple of substitutions for Brookline. Number 21, Kellen McNamara, and number 15, Liv Ernst come into the game, replacing Mia Pujols Braceno and Hope Leshley. While Newton North brings in number 9, Jess Minkin, replacing Fiona Flint. We are close to halftime here in this game as the goal kick almost intercepted by Melanie Chernin, but it bounced off her hand, so that'll be a handball and a free kick for Newton North. Free kick is booted by Anna Engel, almost taken by Melanie Chernin again, but multiple Newton North players there, and they take it, and we've got a whistle. This one is for the end of the quarter. So we are through 2 out of 4 quarters here, halfway through, and the game is still scoreless. The hosting Brookline High Warriors 0, the visiting Newton North Tigers 0. I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, live at Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts, and I'll be back after a mute break. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I'm bringing you live coverage of this high school girls soccer game between local rivals Brookline High and Newton North. The Warriors of Brookline High and the Tigers of Newton North have fought to a scoreless tie thus far halfway through this game as we get ready to start the third quarter of play. After switching sides once again, Brookline will be playing from my right, Newton North from my left, and Newton North will be starting with the ball this quarter. The direction, a lot of days at Skyline Field can be a big difference maker due to the wind, but the wind has been relatively tame so far this morning. We'll see if it picks up in the later stages of the game. For those of us who are outdoors on this chilly Sunday morning, we'd certainly prefer a lower wind chill, or rather a less wind for less significant wind chill. So Newton North will start with the ball around midfield. That is number 12, Claire Rayner, taking the ball at midfield. We've got number 17, Olivia Doherty, along the near side. The ball is kicked back to Malia Sung, and we are underway. Sung kicks it further back to Talia Membrino. Membrino tries to kick it ahead after a couple deflections and winds up at the foot of Catalina Powderly, who takes it across midfield. Powderly sends a pass down the far side, looking for a teammate. It's being chased down by the Brookline defense, and it goes out of bounds. They're going to say that went out of bounds off the Brookline defender, and immediately the Tigers get a corner kick to start this half. So Newton North lining up for the indirect kick. It's tapped in. No dribbling with it, but it's stolen immediately by Brookline. Well defended. Now racing down the far sideline is Gianna Pentland. Pentland manages to fight for the ball and draw a foul. Number 13, Gianna Pentland, now in the game. After not seeing the field in the first half, she gets a good spark to start this second half as she gets the indirect kick, kicks it back, and now it's kicked across midfield. The deflection goes back to Pentland. Pentland sends it ahead looking for Melanie Chernin. Chernin now dribbling around a defender towards the center. Taps a pass over to Liv Ernst. Ernst taps it back to Chernin. Chernin dribbling towards the center again. Sends a pass all the way across looking for Maddie Moore, but it's intercepted by Newton North. But then the deflection goes to Zoe Fagnan, who then passes it along the near side to Sarah Gonzalez. Gonzalez dribbling with it. Sends a pass ahead looking for Moore, but kicked out of bounds by Tali Membrino. I think that was just ahead of the corner flag, so I think that'll be a regular inbounds kick. But when it's that close to the corner, it almost doesn't matter. So Gonzalez getting ready to tap it into Sari Frankel.
Alex, get out of there!
At the whistle, it's tapped into Frankel. Frankel dribbles around a defender, into the box, boots it, and boots it way too high, but deflected back in by Brookline. A battle in the box. They're fighting for it. Gianna Pentland's got it. Shot saved by Josie Glass. Well fought for by the Brookline attackers. As Josie Glass boots it into the air, it's collected by Claire Rayner. Rayner has it immediately taken away by Lindsay Mahoney and tapped ahead to Alex Levy. Levy passes it back to Mahoney. Mahoney dribbling with it slowly towards midfield. Passes it across midfield to Sari Frankel. Frankel turns around, sends a kick down the far side. Bit of a scrum for it, but then collected by Kellen McNamara. McNamara dribbling with it. Kicks it towards the center for Alex Levy. Deflects off of her, and then after a couple deflections, I think that went off of the hand of Alex Levy, or no, they didn't call the handball, they called the foul against Newton North. Too physical defending against Levy, and now Brookline's got a free kick. Zoe Fagnan and Alex Levy lining up. Fagnan taps it for Levy. Levy charges, boots it towards the center, and I think they called offsides on Brookline. That was, I believe, Liv Ernst who was chasing after the ball, and I guess she got ahead of all of the defenders and ahead of the ball as well as they called offsides. Newton North with the free kick now. Booted into the air by Membrino. Deflected into the air by, I believe, Malia Sung, and now a battle for the ball. Scrum for it, gets deflected out to Zoe Fagnan, who sends the pass over to the far side to Gianna Pentland. Pentland sends it in towards the box, but it rolls harmlessly into the hands of Josie Glass. Glass punts it into the air towards midfield. It's downed by Liv Ernst, but gets deflected away to Newton North. An attempted pass across midfield is intercepted by Sarah Gonzalez, passed back to Caroline Wolf, and now passed back to keeper Talia Thompson. Thompson tries to boot it out. Oh, it went off the side of her foot and almost chased down by Newton North. That was dangerous. But Thompson oops up her own mistake and rolls it along the far side for McNamara, who passes it ahead to Frankel. Frankel manages to tap it over to one of her teammates, I believe that was Pentland, who then passes it to the center to Levy. Levy sends a retreating pass back to Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan turns around, boots it towards the near side for Sarah Gonzalez. Gonzalez collects it, dribbles towards the center, tries to send a centering pass, but nobody there, and it's kicked away by Anna Angle. Now being chased down by Claire Rayner. Rayner's got an edge on the defender. Rayner into the box, still being chased, shoots, saved by Thompson! What a chance by Claire Rayner, but great reaction by Talia Thompson to preserve the scoreless tie. Absolutely amazing, especially when you consider Thompson the sophomore backup goalie in relief of an injured Juliana Anastopoulos. She came in and just made a great save right there. Newton North, however, does get the corner kick as the result. Newton North taps it in, tries to boot it towards the box. It bounces kind of slowly, almost taken out by Brookline, tapped back in, and then back out. Bit of a scrub for it, and then Frankel tries to kick it ahead, but nobody there, and it's taken by Tully Membrino, passed along the near side, and offsides on Newton North. So the Brookline defense lives to fight another day, in no small part thanks to a great save by Talia Thompson. Sarah Gonzalez kicks it, it scoops off of the foot of Zoe Fagnan and gets taken away by Newton North. A centering pass, dangerous here. Claire Rayner with it again. She gets double teamed by the defense, almost has it taken away. Newton North manages to come in and recover. Another pass goes to Lily Ranelli, and it's saved by Thompson. Almost skipped away from her hands there, but she recovered it. Talia Thompson getting busy here in the third quarter. She throws it to Kellen McNamara, who passes it along to Gianna Pentland. Pentland now trying to get it around the defender. Ball gets forced out of bounds, and they're going to say it was off of Pentland. So Newton North will have the inbounds kick. Send the kick back, and now booted across midfield, and that's taken by Claire Rayner. Rayner now dribbling, and it's taken away for a second by Zoe Fagnan, and I think they're going to call the foul on Rayner there. Just a little too aggressive in her pursuit of the ball. Claire Rayner, though, has provided an immediate offensive spark after not seeing action in the first half. Talia Thompson getting ready for the free kick. She taps it over to Lindsay Mahoney on her left. Mahoney kicks it right to Olivia Doherty. Doherty dribbles with it, and we've got a whistle. They're going to say it went off somebody's arm, I think. I think they're saying it went off a Brookline player's arm. And so this will be a free kick for Newton North. So the Newton North sideline saying it's a direct kick and not an indirect, but Newton North playing it like it's an indirect. Malia Sung taps it back to Catalina Powderly, who boots it into the air towards the far side, but taken away by Brookline, booted back out. And Engel taps it back in, but then now a bunch of deflections back and forth. And now it winds up with Claire Rayner. Rayner fires and saved again by Thompson. Talia Thompson with another save as Claire Rayner gets another strong attack in there. Thompson rolls it over to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney passes it over to the near side to Sarah Gonzalez. Gonzalez dribbles with it, tries to pass for Maddie Moore, intercepted by Morgan Gallivan, and now it's deflected out of bounds by Sarah Gonzalez. Brookline getting ready to make a massive substitution. They got 6 players ready to come in, but for right now, Newton North getting ready for the inbounds kick. This is Morgan Gallivan kicking it inbounds. She kicks it back to Tully Membrino, who kicks it in, but it's taken away by Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan sends the kick along to Alex Levy. Levy tries to send a pass through to Pentland, but it's deflected away by Newton North, and they take the ball away. A long pass ahead, deflected by Mahoney, but then taken away by Olivia Doherty. Doherty, a couple of passes, winds up at the foot of Helen Rhea Booney. She boots it into the air, but then taken away by Lindsay Mahoney, who kicks it into the air. Now Brookline trying to clear it out. A pass from Liv Ernst over to Alex Levy. Levy dribbling with it, passes it back to Zoe Fagnan, who then sends it along the near side to Sarah Gonzalez. Gonzalez dribbles across midfield. She boots it into the air towards the center. Immediately kicked out by Anna Engel. And then Sarah Gonzalez chases it down. Tries to kick it across her end, and it gets taken away by Olivia Doherty. A pass back and forth with Lily Ranelli, passes it back to Doherty. Doherty tries to kick it in wide of her target and is booted out by the Brookline defense. Booted back across midfield by the Newton North defense, collected by Brookline, booted into the air and out of bounds. So another inbounds kick for Newton North. This is Morgan Gallivan once again. Gallivan looking for a target. Kicks it inbounds to Powderly. kicked back to Gallivan. Gallivan boots it into the air looking for Olivia Doherty. Skips away from her and goes out of bounds. And we've got the massive substitution coming in for Brookline. This is Mila Seifert, Mia Pujols-Braceno, Samantha Friedman, Daniela Levy, and Hope Leshley coming into the game, as well as Melanie Chernin. Brookline gets the ball off the out of bounds. Mila Seifert and Maddie Moore getting ready as Seifert rolls it over to Moore. Moore passes it looking for Frankel. Frankel loses control of it for a second, had to battle Olivia Doherty, but the ball bounces to Seifert. The pass gets taken away by Newton North, but then their pass gets taken away by Brookline. A bit of a scrum for the ball. And then it ultimately goes out of bounds off of Brookline. Gallivan with yet another inbounds kick. She kicks it in, finds Malia Sung. Sung tries to pass, but it gets taken away by Seifert. Goes over to Moore, and then it's forced out of bounds. They're going to say it was off of Newton North, so Brookline will get the inbounds kick. Got a little hasty on that. They got to wait for the second whistle. Tapped from Seifert to Moore. Moore sends a through pass, intercepted by Powderly. Powderly tries to send a pass ahead, kicked away by Seifert. Being chased down by Chernin, but then booted into the air by Leshley. Deflects off the foot of Daniela Levy and gets taken by Powderly, passed back to Sung. Sung passes it along the far side for Helen Ria Booney. Ria Booney battling Melanie Chernin for it, and they're going to call a foul on Helen Ria Booney. So Brookline will get the free kick. This will be Caroline Wolf. Wolf taps it over to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney boots it across midfield, deflects off the foot of Daniela Levy, and is then kicked ahead by Morgan Gallivan. Physical battle for the ball. I think they're going to call the foul on Hope Leshley, who is too aggressively covering Lily Ranelli. So Newton North waiting for their free kick. There's the whistle. It's tapped back to Tali Membrino, booted in the air across midfield, but then booted back across the other end by a Brookline player. And now a scrum for the ball around midfield, and they're going to call the foul on Newton North as Daniela Levy got sandwiched between two players, Tali Membrino and Lily Ranelli. So now Brookline getting ready for the free kick. Hope Leshley taps it over to Chernin. Chernin dribbling in space, sends a pass out to the far side, miscommunication, and it's taken away by Newton North. Passed over to Powderly. Powderly passes it over to Rayner. Rayner sends a pass looking for Olivia Doherty. It's being chased after by Doherty and Mila Seifert, and it's knocked out of bounds. I think they are going to say that went off of Seifert. Ball's near the corner. This is either going to be a corner kick or an inbounds kick right by the corner. Either way, Newton North with a pretty good attack chance here. As they line up with Olivia Doherty tapping it to Lily Ranelli. Ranelli sends it through to Tali Membrino. Membrino kicks it towards the box. Goes right to the foot of a teammate. Shot. Score! That is Claire Rayner. Beautifully placed insert kick by Tali Membrino. It wound up right at the foot of Claire Rayner, who provided the immediate spark once this second half started for Newton North. And she gets the first goal of this game and gives the Newton North Tigers a 1-0 lead over the Brookline Warriors. Brookline now taking over with the ball at midfield after the goal by Claire Rayner, assisted by Tali Membrino. It's tapped to Frankel, who dribbles it across midfield. Now passes it over the near side to Maddie Moore, but loses control of it, taken by Olivia Doherty. Passed over to Gallivan. Gallivan kicks it across midfield, but then kicked back across by Lindsay Mahoney. Tali Membrino downs it, but it goes to Frankel, taken away by Gallivan for a second, and then we've got a whistle. Foul call against Brookline. Newton North will have the free kick. This will be Morgan Gallivan. Passed back to Tali Membrino, then booted into the air. Deflected by Malia Sung, then deflected by Gallivan, then deflected by Olivia Doherty, then deflected out of bounds by Gallivan. Brookline, again, a little too hasty with the inbounds kick. Mila Seifert taps it into Maddie Moore. Moore hits a centering kick looking for Samantha Friedman. Friedman collects it, sends a pass down the near side for Maddie Moore. It deflects off her foot and goes deep down the Newton North end, chased down by Tully Membrino. She turns around, kicks it, winds up at the foot of Maddie Moore. Moore sends a centering pass over to Daniela Levy. Levy turns around, boots it, looking for Melanie Chernin. Chernин's got it. Chernin trying to get around the defense, can't do it. It's taken away by Newton North. Newton North now doing some clearing passes. Catalina Powderly sends it over to Claire Rayner, and Rayner slips and loses the ball out of bounds. We got a substitution for Newton North. That's Emma Planet coming in, replacing Catalina Powderly. As Brookline gets ready for the inbounds kick, Seifert taps it over to Fagnan. Zoe Fagnan kicks it towards center for Melanie Chernin. Chernin's got some space to work with. She dribbles, passes over the far side looking for Samantha Friedman, and they're going to call offsides. Nice move by the Newton North defense to draw the offsides as they managed to step up and make sure Friedman was past them. Newton North with the free kick. It's booted into the air towards midfield. A few players chasing after the ball, and it's taken by Hope Leshley. Leshley sends the pass ahead to Samantha Friedman. Friedman now dribbling with it. Gets double teamed by the defense, and I think they're going to call a foul on Newton North. Indeed, that is a foul call against the Tigers. Getting a little too physical when defending Samantha Friedman. And Brookline now getting ready for the free kick. Hope Leshley lining up. I think this will be a direct kick that they'll allow to go into the air, as they line up for a kick into the box. Leshley charges, boots it into the air towards the box. It's being chased, and it bounces harmlessly into the hands of Josie Glass. Glass boots it down the far side. Newton North trying to clear it out of their own zone. It's passed towards the center. Winds up with Lily Ranelli. Ranelli trying to keep control of it down the near sideline. And it's stolen by Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan stops, passes a centering pass over to Chernin. Chernin sends it down the far side looking for Friedman. Samantha Friedman dribbling with it towards the center. She gets through a couple defenders. Tries to get through another. Can't do it. Runs into way too much traffic. And it gets taken away by Newton North. Planet kicks it across midfield, but deflected back by Caroline Wolf. Taken by Hope Leshley. Leshley passes it to Chernin. Chernin trying to get around. A pass over to the near side, over to Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan dribbles towards the center. A pass gets deflected off of one defender. And it gets taken. I believe that's Lily Ranelli who deflected that ball down and then booted it down the sideline and out of bounds. Brookline getting ready for another inbounds kick. Seifert kicks it over to Leshley. Leshley kicks it down the far side looking for Friedman. Friedman trying to chase it down before it goes out of bounds. She collects it, and she's trying to gain the edge on her defender, but she can't. Lost control of it, and it's taken away by the defense. Anna Engel boots it into the air and across midfield and collected by one of the attackers. It's passed ahead to Helen Rhea Booney. She kicks it too far ahead of herself, and Lindsay Mahoney boots it out of bounds. Newton North gets the ball for the inbounds kick. Newton North waiting to kick it inbounds after it was kicked out of bounds by Lindsay Mahoney. They've got the ball deep in Brookline's end and the 1-0 lead. It's tapped in, booted towards the box. Couple of deflections, and I think they're going to call a handball against Newton North. So Brookline will get the free kick. And Talia Thompson, the goalie, lining up for the free kick. She boots it into the air. It bounces. Kicked back into the air by Malia Sung. Some more bounces, and it's collected by Claire Rayner. Rayner now dribbling. We know she can be dangerous. It gets poked away by Hope Leshley and then kicked out of bounds. I believe they're going to say that's off of Brookline, but they're also going to say that that's the end of the third quarter. So we're through 3 quarters now, and we've got a score on the board now. The visiting Newton North Tigers lead the hosting Brookline Warriors 1-0 with 1 quarter remaining in regulation. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, live at Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. I'll be back after a short mute break. Stay tuned. And we're back live at Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, here to bring you the 4th and final quarter of this local rivalry game between the hosting Brookline High Warriors and the visiting Newton North Tigers. After the two teams fought to a 1-1 tie earlier this week, the Tigers are now on the cusp of a 1-0 victory, courtesy of a third quarter goal by Claire Rayner, assisted by Tali Membrino. Brookline will start with the ball to start this 4th quarter, as they will be playing from my left, while Newton North plays from my right. For Brookline, Sari Frankel will start with the ball at midfield to get this 4th and final quarter underway. She kicks it back to Melanie Chernin, and we're underway. Chernin sends a pass down the near side and out of bounds. Looking for Samantha Friedman on that one, but just a little too much juice on it. Morgan Gallivan has the inbounds kick for Newton North. She kicks it looking for Emma Planet. It skips off her foot, but is collected by Josie Tucker. Passed ahead to Claire Rayner. Rayner has it deflected out of bounds by Caroline Wolf. So Gallivan will have another inbounds kick, this time in the Brookline end. Gallivan kicks it in for Josie Tucker. Tucker kicks it back out to Gallivan. We've got a whistle. I think they called a foul on Brookline. Might have been away from the ball, but either way, it's going to be a free kick for Newton North. Looks like Gallivan's going to be tapping it to Emma Planet on the indirect kick. Gallivan taps back for Planet. Planet winds up and kicks it into the air. Couple of deflections, and ultimately collected by Newton North. Josie Tucker launches a shot wide. So this will be a goal kick for Brookline's Talia Thompson. Thompson kicks it over to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney kicks it ahead, looking for Zoe Fagnan along the far side. Fagnan dribbling with it, passes it ahead, looking for Chernin. Chernin collects it. No, that's Sari Frankel, who then passes it near side to Samantha Friedman. Friedman now looking for a through pass, misses everybody, and kicked away by Emma Planet. Deflected, but then collected by Hope Leshley. Leshley passes it down the far side, looking for Maddie Moore, and Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan collects it. Fagnan trying to gain the edge on her defender, runs out of room, and the ball goes out of bounds. They're going to say, I think they might have called a foul on Brookline on that one. Looks like they did call a foul on Brookline, so it'll be a free kick for Newton North.
Our ball white! First to it!
And it's booted into the air down the far side, looking for Sydney Boucher, but it deflects off her and out of bounds. So now Brookline takes over immediately, and will have the inbounds kick. Ball still in the Newton North end. Tapped in, Maddie Moore kicks it towards the box. It's kicked out by Anna Engel, collected by Melanie Chernin, kicked back in. Deflected back out by the Newton North defense. Hope Leshley takes the ball away now. Dribbling with it, trying to keep the attack alive for Brookline. Just trying to dribble around her defender. And she tries to kick it in, but it's taken away by Newton North for a second. Leshley takes it back, and now we've got a whistle. And we're going to say this time the foul is against Newton North. Leshley was literally working to dribble circles around her defenders there, and ultimately she's able to draw the foul. They're getting ready for the indirect kick. Chernin taps it over to Leshley. Leshley boots it towards the box, deflected out, well defended by Newton North. Recollected by Brookline. Booted back in by Gianna Pentland, but it rolls harmlessly into the arms of Josie Glass. Glass punts it. It's downed by Samantha Friedman. Friedman takes over. Friedman boots it towards the box, and it bounces back into the arms of Glass.
Wait! Come on! First to the ball!
Glass boots it into the air again. Deflected into the air by Leshley. Goes down the far side, and Zoe Fagnan trying to collect it. She does. Trying to gain the edge on her defender. Ran out of room there. Ball was deflected, but now being chased down by, Frankel. Frankel boots it towards the center. Gets deflected by a defender. Now Newton trying to clear it. This is Emma playing it with the ball, dribbling. Turning around, passing it down the near side. This is Kayla Boggs. Kayla Boggs with the ball across midfield. Dribbling towards the center. Brookline defenders waiting to crash. A pass is almost intercepted by Pentland, but she swung and whiffed. Sydney Boucher takes the ball, turns around, shoots, and it bounces harmlessly into the arms of Talia Thompson. Thompson boots it into the air. Deflects off of the foot of Morgan Gallivan. Anna Engel collects it, kicks it ahead to Emma Planet. Planet has it stolen away by Maddie Moore, and it goes to the foot of Melanie Chernin. Chernin dribbles across midfield, passes it over to Samantha Friedman. Friedman dribbles towards the center. Insert kick is deflected. And Newton North takes over for a second, but they lose the ball out of bounds.
Collect, wait, come on! We defend together! Defend
So
together,
Brookline getting ready for the inbounds kick. And Friedman taps it over to Melanie Chernin on the inbounds kick. Passed inside to Frankel, but deflects too far away. Newton North tried to clear, but they kicked it right to Frankel, and now Frankel has drawn the foul.
Hey, Caroline, from now on, we'll have you go. Come on, go now.
Brookline bringing in one of their backs, Caroline Wolf, to take this free kick. There's a bit of confusion there. She passes it over to Frankel. Frankel dribbles around a defender, dribbles towards the center. She's got a little bit of space. A pass over to Melanie Chernin. Another attempt to centering pass is intercepted by Newton North. They try the clear, but it's taken by Hope Leshley. Leshley passes it back to Caroline Wolf. Wolf passes it over to Mahoney. Lindsay Mahoney with it. She kicks it back across midfield for Melanie Chernin. Chernin now dribbling with some space to work. Attempted pass just got away from her. Taken away by Morgan Gallivan. Tapped ahead for Kayla Boggs. Boggs now bringing it across midfield. Passes it ahead for Claire Rayner. Claire Rayner now dribbling along the near side. She starts to dribble towards the center. Taken away by Melanie Chernin. Chernin now kicks it ahead. It skips away from Frankel and is collected by Fiona Flint. Flint kicks it over to Emma Planet. Planet kicks it back to Kira Doherty, then back to Planet. Planet kicks it across for Josie Tucker. Tucker dribbling with it, being chased by Hope Leshley, and that's going to be a foul on Leshley. So Newton North getting ready for another free kick. This one in a dangerous spot for Brookline. Emma Planet looks like she's going to wind up for the indirect kick. It gets tapped to her. She kicks it towards the box. Skips away from her, deflected just wide. Great idea there as it skipped past the Brookline defender, and Claire Rayner went for the deflection into the net, and it went wide. We've got a massive substitutions now for Newton North. That's Helen Rhea Booney, Catalina Powderly, Olivia Doherty, Lily Ranelli, and I believe Malia Sung, all coming back into the game for the Tigers. Talia Thompson takes the goal kick, kicks it towards the far side, immediately intercepted by Newton North. Kick towards the center for Claire Rayner, tries to tap it, and it's still controlled by Lily Ranelli. Ranelli controlling it, dribbling against a couple defenders, turns around, passes it back, almost taken away, but Newton North maintains control. Now it's taken away by Lindsay Mahoney, kicked back out. Morgan Gallivan taps it over to Helen Rhea Booney. Rhea Booney kicks it towards the center, looking for Ranelli. Ranelli has it taken away, and now Melanie Chernin kicks it over to Zoe Fagnan along the far side. She almost lost it, but manages to get it ahead to Daniela Levy. And we've got another whistle, and it looks like we got a Newton North player down, holding what appears to be her right leg. Might be an ankle. Hard to see who it is. I think that might be Catalina Powderly as she now gets up, walking off the field with a little help from Claire Rayner. You hate to see any injury, but you especially hate to see it in a weird season like this where almost any injury could be a potentially season-ending one, just given how short the season is. So Powderly limps off the field as we have a substitution for Brookline. That's Mila Seifert coming in, replacing Gianna Pentland.
Ladies, we win every 50-50 goal. Here we go.
And after that injury stoppage, we resume the action. It looks like Newton North will get the free kick just past midfield. It's tapped back, booted into the air by Anna Engel. Deflected away by Caroline Wolf. Collected by Malia Song, and she draws the foul from Brookline. I believe they called that on Melanie Chernin. And now it'll be another free kick for the Tigers, well within the Brookline end. Looks like Morgan Gallivan's going to tap it over to Anna Engel. Engel boots it into the air towards the box. Deflected away by Lindsay Mahoney. Goes back to Kira Doherty, who tries to kick it ahead, but it's stolen by Melanie Chernin. Her pass to Daniela Levy is deflected away, and this time they drew a foul on Newton North. Brookline kept playing. I guess they didn't hear the initial whistle, but now play is stopped. Brookline has got to be showing plenty of urgency here as they trail the Newton North Tigers 1-0, courtesy of the third quarter goal by Claire Rayner. Caroline Wolf getting ready for the free kick. She kicks it all the way over to the far side to Mila Seifert. Seifert passing it further along the far side, looking for Zoe Fagnan, and then the defense deflects it out of bounds. So another inbounds kick. It goes to Fagnan. Fagnan sends it down the far side looking for Frankel. Frankel has got the ball. She's almost trapped in the corner, but she manages to pass it back out. It's kicked back in to the center, deflects off of Cherning, goes to Daniela Levy. Levy kicks it, it's deflected into the air. Now a shot coming from Brookline, and it's saved by Glass. Now thrown down the near sideline, passed ahead to Claire Rayner. Rayner dribbling with it. She dribbles towards the center, kicks it ahead. Tapped into the air by Seifert, but then kicked ahead by Ranelli, now being taken by Fagnan. Fagnan tries to kick it ahead. It's booted back towards the Brookline end by Kira Doherty. Seifert kicks it back to Talia Thompson. Thompson boots it ahead. Winds up at the foot of Hope Leshley, and Leshley draws a foul. Brookline lining up for another free kick. Leshley taps it back to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney dribbling with it, kicks it across midfield, looking for Frankel. Frankel now dribbling with it. Down the near side, a pass, an attempted give and go, but it's intercepted by Newton North, but it winds up at the foot of Hope Leshley. Now passed back to the far side to Zoe Fagnan. And it gets deflected out of bounds by the Newton North defense. So we'll have an inbounds kick for Brookline. And they boot it towards the box. It's stopped by Anna Engel, and Daniela Levy was a little too aggressive in her pursuit of the ball. Brookline running out of time here as Newton North leads 1-0 here in the fourth and final quarter of play.
10 yards!
Now it's tapped and booted into the air by Anna Engel. And Samantha Friedman deflects it back towards the Newton end. Melanie Chernin was chasing it and got tripped up by a Newton defender. Great foul draw. Chernin got a little too urgent with that free kick. Gotta wait for another whistle. You can understand the urgency behind Brookline here. And now Hope Leshley lining up for the kick, trying to get it in the right spot. Melanie Chernin coming over to tap it to Leshley for the indirect kick.
Tigers! Let's go!
Chernin taps it. Leshley charges it, but it's taken away immediately by Newton North. Not well executed there. That was Helen Rhea Booney, who's now chasing after the ball, but it's taken by Caroline Wolf and kicks back to Talia Thompson. Thompson now kicks it over to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney collects it, boots it towards midfield. It skips past midfield, now being chased after by Samantha Friedman. Friedman trying to get it, and Gallivan chasing after her, but Friedman might have the edge. Friedman's got it, kicks it towards the center, and we got a battle for the ball. It's being deflected up into the air, being deflected out. It goes to a couple of different feet, and Newton North still trying to get it out. Hope Leshley had it for a second. Now it goes into space, and it's taken by Sari Frankel. Frankel turns around, has it deflected away from her. Hope Leshley takes it once again. Leshley runs out of room, and it gets taken away by Newton North, and it gets kicked ahead to Helen Rhea Booney. Rhea Booney takes it across midfield. She's got some space to work with. Covered by Caroline Wolf. Rhea Booney dribbles towards the center, turns around, kicks it. It one-hops into the hands of Thompson. Thompson drops it, kicks it ahead, looking for Zoe Fagnan along the far side. Fagnan now dribbling with it, gets across midfield, kicks it ahead to Maddie Moore. It skips away from Moore for a second, now being chased by a couple of players. It's collected by Moore. Moore kicks it towards the center, but nobody there, and it bounces into the arms of Josie Glass.
Here we go.
That centering kick by Samantha Friedman was so dangerous. It deflected off of so many players, but couldn't go Brookline's way, and now Josie Glass punts it. It gets deflected, kicked back into the air, and they're going to call the foul on Hope Leshley. Newton North getting ready for the free kick in their end near midfield. It's tapped to Anna Engel, who boots it into the air. Ball gets deflected by Hope Leshley, chased down by Maddie Moore. Moore sends a pass over to Leshley. Leshley now dribbling along the far side. Runs out of room and has it taken away by Kira Doherty, who tries to kick, but then deflected by a Brookline player. Kicked ahead again by Newton North, then kicked back out by Brookline. Samantha Friedman kicks it across midfield. It's kicked back by Malia Sung. A couple more deflections, and it winds up at the foot of Zoe Fagnan. Attempted centering pass for Melanie Chernin, too hard, bounces off her leg, and now being chased down by Claire Rayner. Rayner dribbling, she's got some space, shoots, and a couple of hops and into the hands of Thompson. Thompson with the punt towards midfield, and it deflects and winds up at the foot of Samantha Friedman. Friedman tries to pass it ahead, almost taken away by Newton North. Samantha Friedman tried to take it back, and it's deflected out of bounds. We've got a substitution for Newton North. This is number 23, Ali Contaridis. She comes in replacing Olivia Doherty as Newton North gets ready for the inbounds kick. Morgan Gallivan kicks it to Helen Rhea Booney, kicked back to Josie Tucker, kicked ahead to Claire Rayner. Rayner taps it back to Tucker, who sends it ahead for Rhea Booney. Rhea Booney's got some space along the near side, dribbling with it. Kicked away by Caroline Wolf, and that's going to roll out of bounds, and that's going to be Newton North ball. Morgan Gallivan getting ready to kick it in. She kicks it back to Anna Engel, who kicks it into the air and out of bounds. Samantha Friedman getting ready to kick it in for Brookline. And we've got a whistle. I think the Newton North defenders were a little too close.
Stay with your man, White.
And now there's the inbounds kick. It goes back to Caroline Wolf. Wolf sends it across to Lindsay Mahoney. Mahoney dribbling with it. Boots it towards midfield. It flecks off the foot of Sorry Frankel, and this might go out of bounds. Saved for a second by Samantha Friedman, but she couldn't keep it in bounds, and that's going to be Newton North ball in the Brookline end. Morgan Gallivan getting ready to kick it in once again. She sends a kick over to Josie Tucker. Tucker sends a kick out to Claire Rayner, but it's booted away by Caroline Wolf and out of bounds once again. Now Gallivan kicking it in once again as Newton North continues to run out the clock. Kicks it into Helen Rhea Booney. Rhea Booney dribbles, kicks it towards the center, deflected by Mahoney, deflected by a couple players. Then Mahoney boots it into the air. It deflects and winds up at the foot of Josie Tucker. Tucker passes it out to Gallivan. Gallivan sends a kick towards the center for Claire Rayner. Rayner dribbling with it, almost lost it. The kick ahead skips off the foot of Samantha Friedman, but is chased down by Lindsay Mahoney and kicked out, but then collected by Morgan Gallivan. Gallivan almost has it taken away by Sorry Frankel, but they call the foul on Frankel. So it'll be a free kick. That looks to be maybe 10-15 yards out of the box, as Gallivan kicks it over to Rhea Booney. Rhea Booney dribbling around Friedman. Rhea Booney gains the edge and draws the foul. She was a step outside of the penalty box there, and it'll be a free kick along the near side of the box. Rhea Booney kicks it, and it was an indirect kick, but she kicked it into the air, so it'll be a free kick for Brookline. Now Friedman with the kick over to Chernin. Chernin has it taken away by Rhea Booney, and it's kicked out of bounds. So Brookline will have the inbounds kick deep in their own end. The score, Newton North 1, Brookline 0. Samantha Friedman kicks it in to Caroline Wolf, who tries to deflect it back to Samantha Friedman. And it's kicked back out of bounds by Claire Rayner. So this will be a goal kick for Brookline. Thompson gets the whistle. She boots it into the air. And we got a foul call on Newton North this time.
Everybody up.
Brookline trying to line up for the free kick, get everybody down the field. Wolf taps it over to Hope Leshley. Leshley boots it into the air, across midfield, downed by Melanie Chernin. Chernin trying to dribble around, being double teamed, draws another foul call. And they didn't realize there was a foul call there. They kept dribbling with it. They've got to realize when the whistle blows, otherwise they're wasting valuable time. And that is the end of the game. Brookline doesn't get a chance to take that free kick. They wasted their final seconds on that one. And that's going to do it for this one. The final score, the Newton North Tigers 1, the Brookline Warriors 0. The lone score in this game coming in the third quarter by Newton North's Claire Rayner on the assist from Tolly Membrino. So live at Skyline Field in Brookline, Massachusetts, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. If you like listening to my broadcasts, want to support me financially, you can head over to my Patreon account at patreon.com/JGMS88. I'm going to keep broadcasting either way because I love getting to come out and cover these games. But to wrap things up one last time, the final score, Newton North 1, Brookline 0. That'll do it for me here at Skyline Field. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your Sunday.